Welcome students, welcome to CBSE Social Science classes. Today we'll be dealing with the first chapter of economics, that is development. So what is development? It pertains means concern to. Pertains to the growth of an individual, a society, a nation or the entire world. Development involves thinking about the betterment of life and working towards progress, means overall development in simple term. So this growth will be for an individual person just like you and I, or a society or a nation or for the whole world. Development goals are different for different people according to their needs. What may be development for one may prove to be destructive for the other. Example, industrialists may require dams for generation of electricity for propelling their industries. The same dam may be resented by those who are displaced from their homes. Means there are three kinds of goals: common goal, different goals and conflicting goal. It comes in conflicting goal means what? For a particular group it may be a development for their own industries, but at the same time whoever people are living in that area, they are thrown out from their place. They need to migrate themselves from that place to another place, so it is not good for them. That's why they are always not in favor of the dam, whereas whoever people are getting benefit of it, just like as industrialists, so they will definitely give weightage to dams. So this kind of goal comes in conflicting goal. We will be dealing with it afterwards. Most common developmental goals. What are common developmental goals? Common means what? It is common not only in India but everywhere in the world. Increase in income, everybody wants it. Everybody needs their salary to be increased, whoever salaried persons are there, or we need money for the development. Equal treatment, whoever human beings are there, they are always interested that they should be treated equally. Freedom, everybody is in need of it. Security, yes, it's rather more important. The people who are living in a nation, they are thoroughly dependent on the nation for their own security. End of discrimination. Nowadays we do not have that discrimination, but still there are some strata of the society where such kind of things are practiced, but it's okay, but still it is in a negative manner. Decent standard of living. Decent standard of living means simple living only. We do not need the aristocracy style, but still a simple thing. Whatever important things are there, bread, butter, we need some kind of residence, and a simple thing that we need clothes to wear. These are the simple basic things, and such kind of standard of living is called a decent. But still we have aristocracy class, we have a high class society, we have a middle class society, and we have poor strata. So everybody wants a decent standard of living. Now all these developmental goals are correlated. So what kind of goals? Common goals, different goals and conflicting goal. Common goals means what? Whatever we learned. Different goals means what? For my purpose, if I want to reach towards each and every students in the world, this is development for myself. You people, you are interested to get good marks in the examination so that you will get a nice college for your admission, or you will get make your future bright. So everybody has different goals. If you will ask a farmer what is his goal, so definitely his goal will be just to increase the production and sell it out, and to reach towards each and every person. It may be. So different persons have different goals. This is the question. Different people have different goals. So we have to write the explanation of these three things: common goals, different goals and conflicting goal. Conflicting goals we just read out, that is industrialist. In conflicting goal we have to write this. Conflicting goals where one part of the society gets benefit and the other parts is not. That's why. National development, it refers to the progress of the nation as a whole. The policy decisions that benefit a large section of a country population lead to national development. So whenever we are concerning about the national development, we know about the 5-year planning, Panchvarshik Yojana. After the independence, after just after we became republic, we started this 1951. That was the first year of 5-year planning. So here each and every person is taken for development. Each and every field is taken for development. So it is the responsibility of the government for the development of nation. Now what are the attributes of national development? So what are the different things which comes? First, national income. It is a sum total of the incomes of all the residents of the country. Countries with higher incomes are considered more developed than those with less income. Correct. Each and every person in our India is earning. Example, in your family, if your mother and father both are working, and your brother and sister, means there are 4 members in the family, so what is the per capita income of the family? So your father earns 10,000 rupees, it's just an example, and if your mother earns 6,000 rupees, so 10 plus 6 is 16,000, and there are 4 people who are living over there. It's a family of 4 members, so 16,000 divided by 4 means what? 4,000 each. So that is considered as the per capita income. So if countries, the people or the countries with higher incomes are considered to be more developed, just as America, China, Japan, etc., and where we do have less income, Bangladesh, Pakistan, these are considered as the poor countries. Now what is per capita income? Again we will deal with it. It is the average income earned by each person of the country in a year, especially in a year. It establishes a relationship between the income and population of a country. It's a relation, the income and the population of a country, whoever people are living in the country, and their income, yearly income. We are not considering the monthly income, just whatever monthly income we had taken out from an example 4,000 to be converted into 48,000. Countries with higher PCI, per capita income, are considered developed as it determines the amount of money at the disposal of each person of the country. Means what? Higher PCI. I told you, the developed countries. World Bank uses PCI for classifying countries as developed and developing in its World Development Report. Now what are these? The countries, this is the most important point. The countries with per capita income of US dollar 12,736 per annum and above in 2013 are called rich countries, and the countries with per capita income in US dollar 1045 or less are called low income countries. What does it mean? It means you need to convert it into rupees, you will get it. So the country which have more than 12,000 US dollar as the per capita income, definitely considered as the developed countries. However, PCI hides the inequalities in income in the society. Correct. As I told you, we have higher class society, middle class, and lower classes, where we do not consider such kind of things. That's the main reason that it hides the inequalities. Poor are getting poorer and richer are becoming richer in that manner. As per the Central Statistic Office (CSO), India's PCI for the year 2012 and 13 was approximately 68,747. It was calculated on advanced estimate of national income, and now after 7 years it increased in 2018-19, that is 1.25 lakh. What does it mean? PCI, our per capita income for a family is 1.25, so we are in a good position. In India, the per capita income of Goa is the highest, while that of Bihar is the lowest. So Goa, less number of people are living, that's why its PCI is more, where Bihar is little bit backward, that's the main reason that it's the lowest. So Bihar is considered. Infant mortality rate, the next topic that is also important in examination, definitely what is infant mortality rate? That is 30.924 deaths as deaths per 1,000 live births. Consider 1,000 births. So when 1,000 births are taking place, and out of 1,000 if 30 are deaths, that is the India's particular infant mortality rate. How many children are getting die as per the 1,000 live births is considered as infant mortality rate. It is the number of India's infant mortality rate. It is the number of children that die before attaining 1 year of age as proportion of 1000 live births in a year that die before attaining 1 year of age. So India's infant mortality rate is 30, means 30 children die, 30 or 31 children die as per 1000 live births. It indicates the development of health facilities in the country. If this number is decreasing, definitely the health facilities are in a good manner. In India, Kerala has the lowest IMR, while MP, Madhya Pradesh has 59, that is the highest. So out of 1000, 59 children are dying every year. So Kerala has the lowest one and the Madhya Pradesh is the highest one. Next topic, literacy rate. It is the number of people above 7 years of age who are able to read and write with understanding. More is the literacy rate, more developed a country will be. Definitely India's literacy rate is 74.4%, 04%. Now literacy rate, if we are able to read and write, definitely we can consider it as literate person. Kerala in India, that is the 93.91, has the highest literacy rate, and Bihar, as we had already discussed, it's lagging behind, that is 63.82%. So literacy is rather more important. If we will get education, definitely our view will be get broadened. We'll be thinking broad-mindedly. Next important point in this development is related to health, that is body mass index. It is a ratio of the height and weight of a person. It is a major indicator of the health of a person. If the BMI is less than 18.5, then the person is undernourished, and if it is more than 25, then a person is considered overweight. Now, if your health is good, then definitely you can be an asset. Otherwise, there will be a problem. You can become a liability if you are not fit in this category. So BMI, it is calculated weight divided by height in meter square. So your BMI should be between 18.5 to 25. Then only you can consider it as the fit person. Next person, HDI, the most important thing. You will definitely get a 3-mark question here. Explain the role of HDI, or how the countries are particularly segregated on the basis of HDI report. Now, who published United Nations Development Program, UNDP? Since 1990 they are publishing this HDI report. It compares countries on the basis of education level. These 3 parameters are important, will be definitely asked for 1 mark or 3-mark question. Education levels, that is literacy, health status, BMI example, and per capita income, in order to gauge their development. So these 3 things are important to calculate HDI. Development is measured on the basis of 4 indices: HDI, Human Development Index, Gender Related Development Index, Gender Empowerment Measures, and Human Poverty Index. These are the 4 things which are considered as indices, but out of only HDI is the most important, because it has been given to us for the detailed study, and here we will take little bit more information about it. It ranks 189 countries of the world on the basis of 3 indicators. So out of 189 countries, we are one of 8. First, life expectancy at birth, literacy rate for population above 15 years of age, and gross enrollment ratio for the primary, secondary, and higher education levels. Means this is the literacy rate. Education is also important. Life expectancy means how many children are taking birth, are they getting good hospital facilities or not, etc. And the last one, third one, sorry, per capita income. We had already discussed about it. Now this is for India's rank on HDI 2019 is 129 in 189 countries. It is rated as the medium developing country with an HDI of 0.647. 0 to 1. In this measurement, we have the numbers of HDI. We have been given the ranks of HDI 0 to 1 only percent. So our rank is 0.6. So we are in medium developing country. Now, hope you have already understood the important things. We will just take an overlook over here. Development, what we considered, that It pertains to the growth of an individual, a society, a nation, or the entire world. We have common goals, different goals, and conflicting goals. We know about the common goals: increase in income, equal treatment, freedom, security, end of discrimination, decent standard of living. So each and every person living in any one of the corners of the world surely will think about these common goals. Different goals are different for everybody. Farmers have different goals, students have different goals, engineer has different goals, politicians have different goals, in such manner. Conflicting goal we had already discussed here. Industrialists may require dam for the generation of electricity for propelling their industries, whereas the same dam may be resented by those who are displaced from their homes. So a good is sometimes a bad for others. We have national development. Then what are the different attributes? National income, that is also important. Per capita income, it is the average income earned by each person of the country in a year. Next, PCI, what I told you, the countries with per capita income US dollar 12,736 per annum and above are called rich countries. Got it? So rich countries, that is called developed countries, and undeveloped countries what we can consider. Now in India, that is, as per the Central Statistic Office, India's PCI for the year 2012-13 was approximately 68,000. We can consider 69,000. But after 7 years in 2018-19, it is 1.25 lakh PCI. So it's a good thing. We are developing. The PCI of Goa is the highest, whereas the Bihar is the lowest. The most important, infant mortality rate. This is the ratio of India, that is 30 deaths per 1000 live births. Kerala has the lowest and Madhya Pradesh is the highest. Literacy rate, India's literacy rate is 74.04%. Kerala has the highest literacy rate, whereas Bihar is lagging behind. Second thing, BMI. BMI is also important to keep you fit. If you are fit, then you can be an asset. If you are not, then definitely you can be a liability. So it can create a problem. So BMI is also an important indicator here. HDI, the 3 mark or 5 mark question. HDI is published by UNDP, United Nations Development Program. 1 mark question is over here. And what are the 3 parameters it is considered by UNDP? They are education levels, health status, and per capita income. These 3 things are important. If you will not able to recall these, then definitely you lose your marks. These 3 things are important: education levels, health status, and per capita income. Next, these are the development is measured on the basis of 4 indices. Out of these 4, human development index is important: life expectancy, literacy rate, and per capita income. HDI rank of India is 129 out of 189 countries, whereas our rank is 0.647. The last point will conclude afterwards. Sustainable development. So what is sustainable development? It refers to a concept of maintaining the present development in such a way that it becomes available to the future generation. Sustainable development means whatever resources we have, so these resources must be kept for the future generation. It is for sustainable development in simple term. If you are unable to, because 3 mark question will surely be there or 1 mark question will be there. So what is that? To keep the resources, renewable resources, non-renewable resources, biotic, abiotic, whatever resources are there, to be kept for the future generation is called sustainable development. Whatever development is taking place currently must be sustainable, enough that it can be used by the generation to come. Overutilization of non-renewable resources has posed a serious threat of their extinction, which means the future generation will not be able to reap their benefits. Fossil fuels, coal, petrol, if we will utilize all these things in a very hastily manner, so in future we'll definitely not have these kinds of things, and we need to repent on our past actions. So it is rather more important that whatever resources are available onto the earth, so all these resources to be taken care of, and we need to keep some resources for the future generation. Otherwise our future generation will definitely blame that our ancestor, our um, family members did not keep anything for us. They themselves utilized each and everything, and it would be a problematic thing for the future generation. This is, hope you understood today's first chapter, that is development of economics. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you have any doubts, any questions, you can just comment in the box, or you can call me, or you can send an email. And if you are facing any kind of problem, feel free to discuss anything. Thank you very much for your cooperation. Thank you.